Hey guys, Lori here. I'm back for another reading vlog. It is currently June 21st and it is about to be 7 o'clock. I finished my last reading vlog yesterday and I wanted to update you guys today. I have made a lot of progress on Keeper of the Lost Cities by Shannon Messenger. I am currently on page 366 and this book is over in like 480. I'm flying through this book. I was a little bit hesitant to pick it up because the first book, at least, because I know Reagan from Peruse Project says it was really, really slow. I actually didn't find that. I thought that the characters are super compelling. The worlds are super interesting. I love the characters. There's a lot of characters introduced so fast, so I'm sometimes a little bit confused about who's actually related to who because there's a lot of families in this. But I'm really loving it, and I really would love to tackle the rest of this tonight. I'm so far behind on booktube videos, so let's just put it on the background and maybe just finish it. But it's so good, so compelling. I have a super hard time putting the book down, which is actually a good thing. But yeah, so hopefully I can make some more progress on this tonight. This is my last weekend that I have school. Like, next week school's over or ends, so I'm super excited for that. I've never had a summer really off before. I've always worked, so this will be my first summer that I'm actually off, which is nice. A lot of planning is going to go on. If you've been following my journey for a while, you know that I was hired the day before school started. So last summer there was no planning. This summer there will be planning, and hopefully it will make my second year of teaching a lot more easier. But yeah, I will check in if I finish this book or get to a part that I need to talk about. But I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Guys, Lori here. I'm back. Last night I was able to complete Keeper of the Lost Cities by Shannon Messenger. I really like this book. I thought it was a really solid start to a series. I was really impressed with it. I gave it like 4 stars. I think that this book did have some predictable moments in it, but especially the end. The end really rang to me a lot like the first book of Harry Potter. But that's okay. I really love the world. I love the characters. There was so many characters introduced in the first 30 pages of this book, so it was just a lot of memorizing who was who. But really, I loved it. I love the main lead. I love all the characters. I love the underlying mystery. I just really like the world in this, and I'm really excited that we're going to get more books. This book is at least a 7-book series, if not more, and they're all on their way to me from Book Outlet. So I did wind up finishing Keeper of the Lost Cities by Shannon Messenger late last night. And then, my cup's gonna fall. And then I did wind up picking up Serious Moonlight by Jen Bennett. I have read every single one of Jen Bennett's book, and this is her newest contemporary. And it's a romance and a mystery. Basically follows this girl named Birdie, and she is kind of a little bit sheltered. She was homeschooled for most of her life. Her mom passed away, and she was living with her very, very strict grandparents. And this is kind of her first foray into like the real world. And she gets this job working at a hotel as like a night manager. The night before or the week before, she winds up having an encounter with a young man, and they wind up having sex, I guess you could say. And then they wind up being coworkers. Birdie is also like a mystery aficionado. She loves murder mysteries. She loves mysteries. And the hotel she's at, there was a story that like many, many years ago, a Hollywood starlet was killed and it was never solved. So she really wants to hope that she's going to find a mystery. And she locates one with this guy named Daniel, I think, Daniel. And it's about a mysterious thriller writer. So I'm just started it. I'm about 119 pages in, and I'm really enjoying it. So when I get a little bit farther, I'll definitely update you guys. But I'll talk to you guys later for another update. Bye. Hey guys, Lori here. I'm back. It's just hit 7 o'clock on Saturday, and I'm on page 150 of Serious Moonlight. I'm really loving the character of Birdie. As you guys know from this channel, I'm a massive reader, and whenever I leave the house, I always have a book on me, and that's something that she does, and I've just seriously just endeared myself to her. I'm really loving these characters together. I'm loving the setting. I'm loving the mystery element. And I said this is how I got into contemporaries like a while when I first started reading, contemporaries, I always had to have something else with my contemporary, like a mystery or like a cool setting or a topic or something. And this book definitely like fits that genre because it takes place in a really cool location and it has a mystery. Um, but as I said positively, and with all of the other books that I read, this book is very, very sex positive, which I think is really good for kids to read about. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it, and I'm on page 150. Oh, sorry, 140. Sorry. But yeah, I'll check back in when I make a little bit more progress. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. It's Lori here. I'm back. It's Sunday and it's almost 1. I did actually make some progress on Series Moonlight. I'm now on page 310. And I say we've reached like the climax of the book, I would say. I really, really love this book. I love the characters in this book. I think that the two characters are really interesting. The one issue, and it's not like an issue, but the one thing I like less about these books is that you don't get both characters' point of view. You only get the girl's point of view. And I feel like you sometimes miss a little bit of the male point of view just because you don't get it. But I'm really liking this story. I'm loving the setting. I wish the hotel um figured in a little bit more. Like I wish like they were at the hotel a little bit more. And the mystery was definitely like the subplot of it. Like I'm curious to see how the mystery winds up and like who like what the mystery's end result is. I'm liking. I'm definitely giving it like 4 stars. I'm loving the characters and I'm loving the main character. I think her personality is so interesting. But yeah, that's my thoughts right now. Right now, I would say it's probably like a 4-star read. We will see if that changes. But this is also a book that I'm reading for the summer-a-thon. Technically, it's like 2 challenges. It is the book set in summer, and then there's food on the cover. I would love to tackle the rest of this tonight, so I could pick up a new book. I'm going on a field trip on Tuesday, so I can't bring any library books with me. But I would love to finish this before I go on that trip. But I will definitely update you guys when I make more progress. Hi guys, Lori here. I'm back. I did actually make a lot more progress on a couple of books that I've been reading. I've been trying to finish Queen of Shadows on audiobook, and I'm now only 9 hours left. My goal is to just finish this book before the end of the month. That's like a big goal. So hopefully I can like get that down. That's a big goal, but I am enjoying it. And then I did wind up finishing Serious Moonlight by Jen Bennett. I always enjoy Jen Bennett books. I think that they're super interesting. They also deal with like I think these books are a little bit more mature. They do deal with sexual content, I will say that, and they do deal with it I think in like a very like respectful or good I would say it's a good representation of like an adult or a teenage life. I just think it's interesting and I'm really compelling and I would recommend all teenage girls read it because I think that she tackles it in like a really interesting way. I think this book, I was the most connected to the main character in this book. Like, I really liked her. I thought she was super compelling. I always wish we would have get a little bit more with the guy, but I know that that's kind of the point. Like, you're always in the girl's head. I really love the setting of the hotel. I wish it factored in a little bit more. And I felt the end, this like a mystery solving novel. So maybe like I just wasn't as connected to the mystery as the characters were. So I think the end took me a little bit by surprise. I was like, oh my God, like what just happened? But I would just definitely give it 4 stars. I really enjoy her read. So I'll definitely be checking out her next one. Right now, I think this is probably my favorite of hers. I like Starry Eyes, I didn't love it, but I did enjoy Alex approximately. Thought the setting in this was really, really cool. I love how she was a bookworm. I love the detective elements. I just thought it was a really interesting read. So going on, I'm deviating from my TBR a little bit for the summer-a-thon. Just because I've been trying to get better at reading my Owl Crate books once I get them. And if you guys don't want to see the cover for the Owl's Crate Exclusive, then just avert your eyes for a second. But this is this month's book, so avert. But I am going to dive into Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson. This is a bigger book, so I'm probably going to put it down when I go on that trip I'm going on. But I want to see how far I can get. And it's basically like a librarian-themed novel. I know there have been some mixed reports on her Enchantment of Ravens. So I'm hopeful that I actually like this one, and it's been a while since I read like pure fantasy, so hopefully I can get through this. It's been a while. I think the last pure fantasy book I tried to read was Wicked Saints, and I had to put it down. So hopefully this book is a little bit more compelling to me, and I'll definitely start reading it, and then I'll give you guys an update later on. Hey, Lori here. I am back. I did end up making some progress on Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson. I'm now on page 24. This book is like my dream as a child. To like live in a library or like be in a library is just my dream. I'm loving the sorcery elements. I'm loving the main character. I'm really intrigued. We just met, there's like something big happened in the first 20 pages, so I'm really excited to keep reading. But I'm loving this world. I've always been really interested in like novels about libraries. I really want to read the Archive series by Victoria Schwab. I want to read the book about the Alexandria Library, which I cannot remember the title of right now. But those types of stories always like really fascinate me. Or about librarian apprentices. They really are interest me. So I'll definitely give you guys a small update, but I'm literally 24 pages in. But this book is definitely keeping me more captured than Wicked Saints is, which is a very good thing. So I'll update you guys later. Bye. This is Lori here. I'm back. It is Monday evening. It just is about 6 o'clock. I just got home from work. We had field day at IS 10 today, which was pretty cool. Basically, it was literally just a day where the kids were all outside, which was actually super fun. We had gorgeous weather. I'm hopeful that tomorrow we will have good weather, but I don't know. Our luck with weather when we go on field trips has not always been a success. So keep your fingers crossed for us tomorrow because I would love nice weather. But I did actually make progress on Sorcery of Thorns. I am now on page 112. I'm really liking this. I really like books that have to do with libraries. I'm a big library fan, or books about bookstores. I'm loving this main character. I'm loving this world. I'm really intrigued. I'm not actually bringing this to school tomorrow, so I'm going to try to get as much reading done as I can tonight. I'm going to bring some smaller books because I am going to a theme park. And it's just a little bit too big for my backpack. But I will definitely be reading this tomorrow and hopefully finishing it soon. It's a really cool, interesting book. I did not read her book Enchantment of Ravens, but I might actually read it after this if I'm still loving it. But this world is really, really cool. It's been a while since I read a fantasy book that I like stayed engaged in. So I'm hopeful that maybe after this I can go back and read the other Owl Crate fantasy books that I didn't read. Like Gilded Wolves and We Hunt the Flame. But yeah, those are definitely on my list if I really keep liking this. I'll probably update you guys before I go to bed. If not, I'll definitely update you guys tomorrow. Talk to you guys later. Bye. Hey, it's Lori here. I'm back. I'm officially on summer vacation. Wednesday was my last official day of school. Yesterday I did a bunch of book shopping and I went to go see Prom the musical. Sorry for my face. I scratched it when I went to Playland in upstate New York. But I had a really, really fun time. Yesterday I did a bunch of reading. I wound up finishing Queen of Shadows by Sarah J. Maas, which I'm so excited about. I'm so happy that I finally finished that book. It was a long listen, but I'm really happy that I accomplished it. And I also wind up finishing Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson. I actually really like this book. I thought this book was such an interesting concept. I was a little bit unfocused for the last 100 pages of this book, but the ending really tied everything together. I thought the world building was super interesting and super unique. Which is a really, really fun read. We're doing this book 4.5 stars. I thought there was some slow moments in it, but I thought the character growth was really interesting. I love the world building. I thought that was spectacular. Really, really strong standalone if it's going to be a standalone, but I really hope we get a book too. You have to go meet Silas because he is quite a fun character. So I ended up finishing this and Queen of Shadows yesterday. And then I wound up picking up Wicked as You Wish by Rin Chopra, and this is the book one in the 100 Names of Magic series. And this book doesn't come out till March 2020. And I picked it up not really knowing what I was expecting, but I'm loving this book. I was a huge, and I do mean huge, Once Upon a Time fan. And this just screams to me like Once Upon a Time. It basically follows this city named Avalon, and this city turns into ice because there's an ice queen, and these people get transferred. Well, some of these people get transferred to this town in Arizona, and it is like a Filipino tag-along. That's the kind of mythology that you have. But you have a prince named Alexei, and he's kind of gone missing. It's just so fun. It's like a mash up fairy tale world. It has a bunch of characters that you remember, like they talk about Jack and the Beanstalk. It's just so fun. And I'm currently on page um let's see, I'm currently on page 67. But it's such a rich story. I love the Filipino background because I know nothing about that, but I'm loving reading about it. This cover is so pretty. I'm really enjoying it. I hope to make a lot more progress on it today because it's just such a fun read. But yeah, that's my plans right now. I'll check in when I make a little bit more progress on this. Hi guys, I'm checking back in. I've actually made some more progress on Wicked as You Wish by Rina Chopra. I think I'm saying that name wrong. I really apologize. But I'm actually on page like 98, so I'm about 100 pages into this book. This book is just so fun. It's basically, for me, it's like a mashup between The Descendants and Once Upon a Time. And it follows this girl named Talia. And she kind of is one of these magical people, and she's stuck in this town of Arizona. Her best friend is the undercover prince. And the book starts off that like he's comes to her town, and now this is everything is set like a year later, and the Snow Queen's rule is coming again, and it's really interesting. It's really compelling. I normally love fairy tale retellings. It's entirely possible after this I might actually finally get around to Sherwood, but I'm just really loving it. I'm loving the Filipino history. I'm really loving the main characters. And it does have like a ragtag element too, which I'm normally so game for. But yeah, I'm really liking it. So hopefully I'm going to dive in, read a little bit more. I have to film a couple of videos. My voice is kind of back, so I want to film them while I have the time. And then I'm probably going to watch all my rest of my YouTube videos that I'm kind of behind on. But I'll update you guys and let you guys know how much more I wind up reading today. Guys, Lori here. I'm back. I did actually make a lot more progress on Wicked as You Wish. I'm now on page 190. This book is like the perfect mix between Once Upon a Time, Disney's Descendants, and just people on like a quest. It's just so good. It's basically set in like a fairy tale world. It really reminds me of Once Upon a Time. Like it really, really does. But now the setting has changed, which is really, really cool. And these characters are in a totally different setting, and they're kind of isolated from the people that normally help them, which I always love that trope. But yeah, it's just really interesting. Dreams are becoming a little bit more apparent. Prophecies are becoming a little bit more apparent. There's been some revelations about Talia's family and some revelations about Talia herself, who's our lead. I'm really liking this book. Right now, it's so rich. It's just a rich story, and I'm loving how this book is being crafted. I'm loving the world building. I'm definitely going to have to go back and read the Bone Witch series by this author because I never got around to reading it, but this book is really impressing me, like, a lot. Yeah, so, and I also, summer-a-thon I think is over today. So I'll give you guys my updates at summer-a-thon once I'm done with summer-a-thon. But this would be perfect if I could finish it because it's the colors of the sunrise, which is great. But yeah, so that's my plans right now. It's supposed to rain massively in a little bit, so I'm going to go and go for a quick bike ride and listen to my rewatchable podcast that I fell so far behind on. But yeah, I'll talk to you guys later for another update. Bye. Hi guys, I'm back. I actually made a lot more progress as Wicked as You Wish, and I did start listening to Empire of Storms and Geekarella for the Time Warp YA Book Club. I love the first chapter of Empire of Storms. It took us back and it followed two characters that I definitely didn't expect, but I often like that, so that was kind of interesting, and I literally listened to the first 10 minutes of Geekarella. But as for the book I'm physically reading, Wicked as You Wish, I'm now on page 250. One thing I really like about this book is that each book has like a really fun title. It kind of reminds me a little bit of the older Percy Jackson stories, like when their titles were always really entertaining and really fun, and it seems like she has an interesting concept with that or similar. But I'm really liking it. This world is just so rich. I'm loving the connections back to fairy tales. I'm loving all the elements. It's just such a wide sweeping story, and I'm really compelled, and I don't want to put this book down. Really enjoying the character of Talia. I think she's really interesting. And I didn't say this before, but like her power is that she negates magic around her, so magic like doesn't work around her. But I'm loving the ragtag group of heroes. I think that that's like one of my favorite tropes, and I'm loving them being in an environment that is not familiar to most of them, which I'm really enjoying. But yeah, it's so good, and I really hope to make some more progress on it tonight because it's just such a rich read. I definitely did not expect this going into it, but it's definitely reminds me of Once Upon a Time. Like that's the biggest connection I can connect back to. But I'm really liking it, and I'm wondering how this book's gonna end and what is going to be the end point because I'm really curious. Guys, Lori here. I'm back. I just want to wrap up my summer readathon thing that I wound up doing. It was super last minute and I didn't wind up completing all the challenges, but I just wanted to come in and say what I wound up reading and what I would say that correlated. So the first book that I wound up finishing that would connect back to the challenge is a book set in summer, and that is Serious Moonlight by Jen Bennett. I actually really enjoyed this book. I wound up giving it like 4 stars. I like Jen Bennett's writing. I really do. I wish that the hotel would have played in a little bit more with it. But I really did like both characters, thought they were really interesting. I like the romance. I love the elements of self-discovery. And I wound up giving that read like 4 stars. Now this is when my TBR kind of took like a different direction than I was originally planning. But that's okay. I literally just today, I just finished Wicked As You Wish by Rin Supro. This book does not come out until March, but I read it really early. And this is basically like, I'm just going to read you like the little blurb because I think it like sums it up really good. An unforgettable alternative history fairy tale series from the author of The Bone Witch about found family, modern day magic, and finding the place where you belong. Literally, this book is like Once Upon a Time, the first season. I really, really love this book. I thought it was so well crafted. I thought there was I gave this book 5 stars. I thought there was some explanation that I wish was like a little bit clearer. But I really love the concept. Basically about these characters, and they are fairy tale characters. They live in like a fairy tale world. But there is an ice queen that kind of turned their kingdom into like ice, and they're sent to live in Arizona where there is no magic. America is becoming, they are more interested in magic and they want magic, but not the magic that they have. So they deal with like ice agents in it, but there's also like a quest element, and then there's some adventuring. It was just so good. I just really love it. Talia as a main character was so intriguing. There was a prince, Alexei, which I loved. Alex, I loved him. And I just was really captivated by this read. I thought it was so well crafted. The end, I'm going to have to wait till 2021 to get the second book in the series, but boy, was it a good story. I think I haven't read a fairy tale book like this in a while, and this book also had like a lot of like Filipino mix, like it dealt with tag-along society in Filipino, which I really enjoyed. And that was just a really interesting read. I definitely gave it 5 stars. I really enjoyed reading it, and I cannot wait definitely for it to come out and everyone to read it because I'll probably wind up rereading it again in 2020. But it was so good, and I wound up giving this book 5 stars. And this worked well with the sunset on a cover. So the next book that I wound up finishing, I still have it, which is exciting. The next book that I wound up finishing was Sorcery of Thorns by Magic Ryerson, and I actually didn't plan to read this, but the next prompt, that I think is a book that has to do with road trip, traveling, or vacation. This does have to do with some traveling because she does travel to a different kingdom, so that's the one that I wound up putting down for this one. But again, I really like this book. I gave this book like 4.75 stars. Basically follows this girl named Elizabeth, and she is a apprentice at one of the great libraries. But when something happens and she's accused of, she's sent to go basically she's sent somewhere, and she ends up having a connection with a sorcerer, which is something that she does not like. They're totally opposites. But it was a super compelling read, and I wound up reading it really, really fast. So this was another book that I wound up really enjoying. And I wound up giving this 4.75 stars. So the only challenges that I didn't finish was, let's see, I didn't finish Read a Beachy Read. The only thing that I read that was definitely not a beach read, but the only thing that I read was I finished listening to Queen of Shadows by Sarah J. Maas. I did finish reading that, but that really didn't go with any of the challenges. So yeah, but other than that, I actually had a really good readathon, and I'm going to try to do more of these over the summer. I'm definitely going to do a one-day readathon that I do all by myself. But yeah, so now I just picked up, like literally 10 minutes ago, Love a la Mode by Stephanie Kate Strom. And this is about two kids, Rosie and Henry, and they wind up, they're both really into cooking, and they wind up getting accepted to a culinary program for kids in Paris, and they meet on the plane over, and that's like all that I know so far. But so far it's really, really cute, and I've never read anything by Stephanie Kate Strom. I did meet her, so this book is actually signed to me. But I'm really excited to dive into this read, and hopefully I'll like it. I've been reading a lot of fantasy recently. I read these two pretty much back to back. I've been listening to some fantasy. So I think it'll be nice to dive into a more contemporary read. And then I will be sure to let you guys know my thoughts as I make a little more progress in this. And I'm also listening to Geekerella by Ashley Poston. And I'm on chapter 2 of that. This is like a reread for me, but I'm actually really enjoying that as well. But yeah, I'll definitely give you guys an update later in the day. It did start raining, so I had to cut my bike ride a little bit short, but that's okay. But yeah, so I'll talk to you guys later for another update. Bye. Guys, Lori here. I'm back. I actually did make some progress on Love a la Mode by Stephanie Kate Strom. I'm now on page 102. And this book is just kind of fun. I love contemporary books that have like a theme or are some type of concept novel. I always like those. And this book is no different. It basically follows these two kids. They're going to school in France at a cooking conservatory. And they both like to cook. One likes to cook and one likes to bake. And they're kind of in the middle of the pre-flirting stage. There's a boy that's like kind of famous because his dad's like a professional chef. And they're about to go outside and explore Paris, which I think is so cute. But I'm actually really liking this. I'm enjoying it. I think I tend to read contemporaries a lot in the summer, so this is not a big shock. And I've had this one for a while. But yeah, I really like the character of Henry. I think he's just kind of fun. I just like that name normally. But yeah, and I'm really loving the cast of characters that we're meeting. It's very, very diverse. There's a lot of different backgrounds and stuff in the characters. And yeah, I'm just excited to see where it goes, where the romance goes. Yeah, I'll definitely update you guys more. And if I make a lot more progress on this, I might wind up finishing this vlog tonight, but we will see. But I'll talk to you guys later for another update. Bye. Hey, it's Lori here. It's officially July 1st, which is awesome. It is also officially the first full week that I have off from school, which is also awesome. So I'm going to try to I'm a very, very schedule-y based person. I like schedules. I'm trying to lessen my schedule for my break, but I'm still trying to get a lot of stuff done. I'm also taking about 2.5 weeks off, including last week, with all of my schoolwork because I really think I need a break. But I definitely don't want to be in the situation that I was in the first day of school last year when I had planned nothing. So it's like finding a life balance a little bit, which is what I've kind of been struggling with this year. So I'm going to go for a bike ride, and I'm going to make some progress on Love a la Mode by Stephanie Kate Strom. I'm now on page 188. I'm really liking it. It's a very, very typical contemporary, but I'm loving the setting. I'm loving the characters that we're meeting. It's really, really fun. I'm also listening to Geekerella and Empire of Storms. So I'm going to make some progress on that. I have officially caught up on all of my booktube videos that I wanted to watch, which is so exciting. So now I'm going to go back and watch some of the shows that I never got to watch because I was super distracted with Wonka. So that's the next plan. But yeah, so that's my plans right now. I'm definitely going to probably finish this reading vlog today and start a new one. But I want to see if I can finish this book. I've got 150 pages left. I think that's incredibly doable. And then I'm going to start the TBR and Beyond reading challenge for the summer, which I'm very excited about. So I'll talk to you guys when I come back from my bike ride. Bye. Hi guys, Lori here. I'm here to wrap up this reading vlog. I did wind up finishing Love a la Mode by Stephanie Kate Strom. I thought this was a super cute read. It basically follows these two characters, Henry and Rosie, and they are on their way to a culinary school in Paris. They're juniors, I think. Yeah, it was just fun. I mean, I love concept novels. I love that YA books have a concept. So this was like they were at like a cooking school. Um, Henry and Rosie were very, very different characters. I did enjoy it. It definitely wasn't my favorite. I really liked the cast of characters that we got, like the group of friends. I thought there was a lot of miscommunication in this novel that really like prolonged it. And sometimes that frustrates me a little bit because if people would just talk to each other, it would solve a lot of these like potential problems. But I definitely want to read more by her in the future. But it was really, really cute. It was a perfect summer read. It was one of the first reads I read over the summer. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. So I'm going to wrap this reading vlog up. This was also the reading vlog where I did summer-a-thon. So hopefully I'll be able to do a couple more readathons throughout the summer. I also am starting the TBR and Beyond reading challenge, which I'm so excited about. So I'll be talking about that in my next reading vlog. But let me know in the comments what are some books you guys picked up at the tail end of your school year or the start of your summer. I'd love to hear about them. And I'll talk to you guys for my next reading vlog. Bye.